Hello. Um, Apologize now for my appearance. I'm in my yard working clothes. I was gonna do the video outside, but today it's very windy, which is odd considering this is like 2 days after the storm that we were supposed to get. We got pretty much nothing when the storm hit. Maybe like a little bit of rain. But that was about it. 2 days later, and we're getting high winds. So high, in fact, that it would blow my tripod over. So I'm doing it in the house. But yeah, anyway, controversial video for today, or controversial topic, I guess. Um, Trying to think of like a good title, because I usually make a video and then, weeks or months later, I finally upload it. Um, so I guess I'm not going to give you like the title in this video, but the general gist of what this video is about is why you shouldn't listen to everybody when you're starting growing a beard. Um, The reason I say that is for me, as someone that's bearded and has been in this beard journey for probably 15 years or more. I mean, I've had several variations over the years. I've had just a long goatee and the side shaved. I've had full beard. I've had short goatee. I mean, I've always had facial hair, but I've always had some sort of like beard, where I've had to use beard products. Um, But the reason that I want to make this video is for something that I've been seeing a lot of lately, and I'm not going to point out any names or point fingers or anything, but it's something that I feel like needs to be said, especially for the newer bearded crowds, because one, when you start getting into growing a beard, it's a really hard topic to explain in the first place because it really depends on who you are and how you are. I mean, there's obviously people out there that have beards that don't even know beard oil and stuff like that exists. But for me, at least, one of the hardest things as someone that's bearded is to have a beard or want to grow a beard and then dive into YouTube and everywhere else and try to learn only to get even more confused. So the point of this video is to basically give you the essentials you need and then just let you do your own thing. Um, because there, at the end of the day, there's basic knowledge that everybody should know, and then after that, it should honestly just be up to you. And the reason I say that is because there's so much information out there today. Not to mention that, if you do enough research and go on, especially YouTube, you'll find out there's several beard channels. And a lot of times, one of the things that I've noticed that kind of pointed me in a direction of even making this video is they're all different. And that's the biggest problem for me, when it comes to someone out there starting their beard journey. Because the basic essentials that you need to know is beard oil is for the skin under the beard. So you put it on your hands and you go up under and massage it in. Beard balm is basically like a pomade. You'd use it typically like a pomade, but it's for your beard hair and it's not for the skin, it's for the hair itself. So you put it on the hair and go through the hair, but you're not trying to get it on the skin. And that is for styling the beard. Now you have butter, which is kind of a mixture of balm and oil, um, but it's for hair and the skin. And I like to typically use that if I'm at home and I'm having a lazy day, especially if I've just washed my hair or just washed my beard the day before. I like to possibly put in butter, the next day instead of balm, just to kind of get the hairs nice and conditioned. Um, and then there's washes and bars and beard conditioners and co-washes, and there's all these things. But the basic gist of it, you honestly need to know is balm and oil. Get those two, start using them, use them correctly, and then go from there. Because one of the things that I've been noticing lately that's kind of been irritating me is if you follow along with a lot of bearded YouTubers, it's super easy to get confused. Um, because you might watch one and they'll say, uh, the balm is for the skin. And you might watch another one and they'll say the balm is for the hair only. Or you'll watch another one and they'll say, oh, you should wash your beard every single day. And then you'll watch another one that's like, you should only be washing your beard once a week. Or you might watch another one and they're like, you should wash your beard every other week. And you watch another one and they'll tell you you should be co-washing every single day. And then you can watch another one and they'll say you shouldn't be co-washing at all. So it's just too much. Because someone like myself that's honestly starting to really get deep into being bearded, like I said, I've had facial hair for at least 15 years or more. But in the last 5, I've really, 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 really been diving into beard products. And one thing that I've noticed is it all depends on you. It depends on your life. It depends on your daily routine. It depends on your diet. It depends on what products you're using, how much you're using, how often you're using it. It depends on everything. And for you to sit here as someone that's newly bearded and to go and watch a YouTube channel and have someone sit here and tell you you should be washing your beard every single day, that could be bad for you. What works for me might not work for you. What works for someone else might not work for someone else. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are all things that I personally feel like you need to learn on your own. As I said, you need the basics, a good beard oil, a good beard balm. If you have like a shorter beard, you know, something that's like close to the skin, of course, just oil. Once you start getting hairs like this and it needs to be tamed, then you add a balm, and then from there you figure out if you want a butter and so on and so on. Of course, you need washes and stuff like that, but it's just basic stuff. You know, generally, I would say go to whatever brand you picked out um, for your balm and your oil and use their wash. But that's another subjective thing. For me personally, I use Grandpa's Pontar bar soap. I only wash my beard once a week. And for most people, it's a very stripping wash. And yes, it is. But it works for me. I've found that when I use conditioning washes, I don't get as clean and I don't feel like my beard does as well if I do stuff like that. It works for other people. There's people out there that swear by the stuff and that will literally tell me what I'm using is destroying my beard. On the same principle, I know people that swear by beef tallow um, bar soaps and what is it? They have lye in them. For me personally, it really, really, really dries out my beard and strips it to the point to where I have to go like 2 weeks without washing my beard just to get it back to doing correctly because it's so dried out and frizzy. And I know other people that do it weekly and it's like the best thing they've ever used. So, like I said, just find out what type of beard you got, whether it be short or long. You need the oil regardless, but if you need to, get the balm incorporated, and just start there. And then, like I said, make sure you're getting brands. Brands are subjective too, but that's kind of an easier thing to figure out. Um, yeah, let's see. Broke ass beard is a good one if you're looking for budget stuff. Badass beard's good. Um, what is the other ones? Honest Amish is good. Of course, my favorite, if y'all don't know and you live under a rock, um, of course, I'm going to be blanking right now that I need to mention. Um, Bear Lawson Beard Co. Check him out. Best beard products around. Um, But there's tons out there. I would just recommend you stay away from most of the stuff at Walmart, except for maybe Honest Amish, because like the Harry's or Willie's or whatever that Walmart carries, and the one that's in the silver box, and the every dude or every what man Jack or whatever, all those aren't, they're not great. I'm sorry. They might have some products in them that are okay, but I would rather you use a better product. The Honest Amish stuff, you're pretty good with. I've used pretty much everything that they make. I will say if you use their beard washing bar, it is kind of stripping. So if you're not used to that, buyer beware. Um, but yeah, just pick out one of those brands that I mentioned. You should be fine. Um, Grave Before Shave is pretty good. Artius Man. I'm trying to think of some other ones. Uncle Jimmy's is pretty good. I like their stuff. Shea Moisture has some good balm and oil that I really like. I love the smell of their oil. Um, there's just tons out there. Just do your when it comes to the beard products you're using, do your research. You just want everything with natural ingredients. You don't want any silicones or alcohols or any of that added crap. You want just oils and essential oils for scent. And then when it comes to like butters and balms, you want like beeswax and shea butter and all this stuff that you know is natural. If it's a long word that sounds like a chemical, don't use it. Just use your common sense. But yeah, when it comes to your routine, it's honestly subjective because one of the things that's put me super far behind in my beer journey is listening to a lot of people. Um, as I've said a bunch, what works for someone else probably may not work for you. Believe it or not, there's beard groups that I'm in on Facebook, right? I know guys in there that can get away with using their wife's shampoo and conditioner on their beard, and they say it's like the best thing ever. Um, Kerry King from Slayer, right? I forget where I seen it. It's somewhere online, I believe. You could probably look it up. But he was quoted at one point in time in an interview where I think he said he uses his wife's Aussie conditioner and shampoo, and it works amazing in his beard. And yet you've got tons of other people sitting here telling you don't use that stuff. Granted, I'll sit here and tell you not to use it as well. But if it works for you, who am I to tell you any different? It's all about what works for you. Like I said, I know plenty of guys that are using VO5 and VO5 conditioning cream and the VO5 oil treatments and White Rain and Tresemme and all kinds of other stuff that everybody in the world tells you not to use. And they swear by it. Would I use it? Absolutely not. But if it works for them, who am I to judge? But all I can simply do is point you in the right direction, and the rest is up to you. Because there's been so many times that I've been pushed back in my beard journey, listening to people because I was told to do certain things, only to find out down the road it it, it wasn't right for me. For instance, so many people will sit here and tell you not to use a high pH stripping bar of soap, right? They'll tell you to use a gentle um, conditioning wash. I'm not against that. If it works for you, it works for you. For me personally, it does not work. I've tried using a gentle conditioning wash. For me, one, I feel like it doesn't get all the beeswax out of my beard, which I don't like. Um, and the particular bar that I use, which again is the Pine Tar Granddad soap, it strips the stuff out of my beard, but it doesn't strip to where my beard isn't unmanageable and frizzy and everything else. I mean, I'm probably due for a trim, but as you can see, my beard looks fine. I washed it 2 days ago. Keep in mind as well, I don't put as much product in as most people recommend. There's a lot of people out there that are telling you when you get out the shower to put in an oil This is if you shower at night. But if you get out the shower at night before bed, put it in an oil and then put it in a butter to go to sleep. And then when you get up in the morning, put in another oil and a balm for the day. I don't even use all that. The most I do is if I'm sitting at home doing nothing, I'll put an oil and a butter in. And then if I'm going out, I'll put an oil and a balm in. That's it. I don't put anything in after I get out of the shower. I don't put any butters in to go to bed. And I still use my bar of soap once a week. It works for me. um, I have no issue with frizziness. I have no issue with my beard being super dried out. Um, another thing that I've noticed when I was using the conditioning washes is right in here I would get a lot of acne, and I still do. It may happen. It's all part of your body chemistry. You're adding oils and stuff to your face. It's bound to happen. But I noticed that when I was using the conditioning washes, this would get worse and never go away. When I would use the pine tar soap, it'd go away in a day or two. So yeah, it's all a learning curve because again, like I said, there's people that'll tell you to wash your beard every single day or use a non-stripping wash, all kinds of stuff. If that works for you, great. It doesn't work for me. It was a learning curve because, like I said, for years I was using a conditioning wash and I couldn't figure out why my beard wasn't growing as well and the volume wasn't great and um, underneath the hair wasn't growing as well and I couldn't get rid of acne in here and just all kinds of issues. And I remember at one point in time I had seen a video somewhere on YouTube about Grandpa's Pine Tar soap. And there was a guy that was actually in a beard competition that had a ridiculously huge beard. And he said that his secret weapon was Grandpa's Pine Tar soap. And I did my research, found out what it was, found out that it was fantastic for nourishing and moisturizing the skin. And it was a very good cleanser and um, helps with dry skin and helps with uh, eczema and all kinds of stuff. So I gave it a shot. Liked it so much that I started using it as my shampoo as well. And then I started noticing a difference. My acne was clearing up. I noticed my beard was starting to get fuller, and actually, a lot of the issues that I had were going away. And now that's what I use. But at the same time, I'll have people telling me, dude, you shouldn't be using that stuff. That stuff is like a 12 in its pH. Like it's going to destroy your beard. I have no issues. None. At least for me, I have no issues. Can I say the same for others? No. But it does work. It is recommended by bearded people, but it works for me. Um, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you what you should or shouldn't be doing. I'm just simply going to give you the tools and point you in the right direction because regardless of what you are or aren't doing, you should be using, depending on the size of your beard, an oil and a balm. There's no way around that. You should be using it. If you've got a shorter beard, you should just be using oil. If it's not something that you're having to use like a comb or anything, and you're just using a beard brush, a boar's hair beard brush, then you should just be using an oil. If it starts growing out and you got some length to it, and you got to use a comb and a brush, or even your wife's hair brush, then yeah, you should be using balm as well. And then from there, everything else is subjective. Realistically, I cannot tell you what to use and what not to use. As sad as it is to say, it's all up to you. It's going to take time, research, and money. That's all you can do. And when I say research, I don't mean like go and Google stuff. I mean like go out here, look up beard product brands that you like or use or want to use. See what they make, buy it, and try it. It's a lot of research because I spent so long using what I thought I was supposed to be using because other people were telling me to use it, only to find out that something completely different that I was told not to use works for me. At the end of the day, your hair on your face is your hair on your face. And there's only one person in this world that can tell you what works, and that's you. So, as much as you might want to find the golden ticket and go on Facebook or TikTok or YouTube and just watch up one YouTuber or many YouTubers and be like, well, this person's got an amazing beard, I'm going to do what they do. It might not work for you. It's that simple. I know people that have tried the wash your beard every single day method and said that they've noticed a lot of hair loss, a lot of their beards falling out because of it. They went back to the super stripping wash they were using, or the 1 week conditioning wash they were using, or whatever it is they were using, and it resolved itself. That's them. I noticed my acne clears up when I use my granddad's pine tar soap once a week. That's what I use. Um, some people use far more product in their beard and that works for them. I use less product in my beard and that works for me. And also keep in mind what I'm telling you today might change in a year. Not about the whole like looking into people's videos and doing what they say. I'm just saying what works for me today might not work for me a year from now. Because if I would have made this video when I was doing the weekly conditioning wash, I probably would have been like, yeah, it's great. And yes, it was. My beard felt super soft all the time. But I would just notice bad acne, um, my neck growth was lacking. Just there were certain things about my beard that I didn't like. And I started doing some research and finding out that a lot of this stuff doesn't necessarily get off all the waxes from the beeswax in the balm. And so you should, at the very least, if you're using these conditioning washes, be using a stripping wash at least once every 2 weeks to completely strip everything out of your beard. And I tried that for a while and I didn't like the results. So I was like, well, maybe I'll just start using the stripping wash as my main wash once a week. And that ended up being the ticket for me. It ended up being the answer. Um, but yeah, I'm not going to sit here and tell you what I do is definitively the answer for you. I'm just going to sit here and tell you what I know now and hope it works out. Because the worst thing you can do is sit here and watch video after video after video of people telling you, this is my routine, this is what I do, and then copying it. Because I've done that and it didn't work. And I got behind in my beard routine, my beard journey, and everything because of it. And I know other people that have the same issue. Get on Facebook, you get in these groups, and you say, hey, what's the best wash to use? And you get 50,000 recommendations, and it's like, those work for them. At the end of the day, you need to find out what works for you. I'm not saying recommendations are wrong, because, if someone recommends something, you could try it. But basing your entire beard routine off of what one person is telling you to do, not to mention there's tons of people out there that's recommendations conflict with others. Like I said, you'll have one person telling you to wash your beard every other day or every day, when you got another person that's telling you wash it with a conditioning wash once a week and then strip it every other week. You might have another person that's telling you to strip it completely at the end of the week. Everybody's opinion is different. Everybody's beard's different. So realistically, I don't want to sit here and tell you this, but buy everything and try it. That's the only way you're going to find out. Again, I would recommend not using your wife's shampoo and conditioner, but I know people that it works for, so I'm also not going to tell you not to try that, because you don't know until you try it. I mean, it's only going to take once for you to use your wife's Tresemme and get out the shower and be like, holy crap, my beard is ruined, or holy crap, this is amazing. You don't know till you try it. Um, I don't think it'll make your beard fall out, but it's still, I mean, you don't know till you try it. Um, but yeah, find some good quality beard companies out there. Try their soap, try their bars, try their washes, try their conditioning washes, try their co-washes. I mean, at the end of the day, getting into having a good beard is going to cost, especially when you're starting out. Um, because you don't know what works for you. You don't know what companies you like. You don't know what blends you like. You don't. There's tons of stuff out there, and I'm not saying go out here and spend 20 grand on stuff. I'm just simply saying do your research, find out what beard oils do what. Um, because again, that's another thing that's different for everybody. Um, and just buy the basics. If you want to buy a bar of soap to see if you like a stripping wash, try out the Grandpa's Pine Tar soap. I think it's like $4 or $5. They have two different sizes. Um, that's a fantastic stripping, moisturizing wash. It also helps people with psoriasis. If you have that issue, give it a shot. If you're looking for a good overall, like gel wash, um, Broke Ass Beard Co., I think they're called. They have a donkey as their logo. They have a good washing conditioner, good argan oil stuff. Um, Beard Octane's good as well. I think my wife's here, so I gotta go. But yeah, do what you will, and hopefully this helps. Next video.